Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So today I'll be talking on the Paris Agreement. So the Paris Agreement is a landmark environmental accord that was adopted by nearly every nation in 2015 to address climate change and its negative impacts. The deal aims to substantially reduce global greenhouse gas emissions in an effort to limit the global temperature increase in this century to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. So rarely is there a consensus among nearly all nations on a single topic, but with the Paris Accord, leaders from all around the world collectively agreed that climate change is driven by human behavior, that it's a threat to the environment and all of humanity. All that global action is needed to stop. Hence, it's also created a clear framework for all countries to make emission reductions, commitments, and strengthen those actions over time. So, at present, there are currently 197 countries, including Malaysia, are the parties to this agreement. Every nation on earth have adopted the Paris Agreement. Of those, 179 have solidified their climate proposal with formal approval. Why the Paris Agreement is important? The global warming threatens climate system. To alter the temperature, both on land and at sea, alter global weather patterns and change how and where precipitation falls. Those shifting patterns exacerbate dangerous and deadly drought, heat wave, floods, wildfires, and storms, including hurricanes. They also melt ice cap, glaciers, and layers of permafrost, which can lead to rising sea levels and coastal erosion. Moreover, human-generated emission cause global warming. The carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane are gases that collect in the atmosphere and prevent heat from radiating from Earth's surface into space, creating what's known as greenhouse effect. According to the Intergovernmental Panels on Climate Change (IPCC), the leading international scientific body studying the subjects and the concentrations of these heat-trapping gases has increased substantially since pre-industrial time to a level not seen in at least 800,000 years. The carbon dioxide, who is the chief contributor to climate change, is up by 40% and nitrous oxide by 20% and methane by a whopping 150% since 1750, mainly from the burning of dirty fossil fuels. So the climate change endangers human health as climate change fuels temperatures increases and extreme weather events, and it finally jeopardizes our air, water, and food, and can spread disease and imperils our home and safety. We are confronting a growing public health crisis. So the extreme heat can contribute directly to cardiovascular death and respiratory disease. In the Indian city of Ahmedabad, for example, more than 1,300 excess deaths were recorded during a heat wave in May 2010. The high temperature also reduced air quality by creating more smog, pollen, and other airborne allergens, all of which can trigger asthma, which afflicts 235 million people around the world. Hence, extreme heat can also exacerbate drought, leading to malnutrition and famine. So, the Paris Agreement also established a framework for global climate action, including the mitigation of an adaptation to climate change, support for developing nations, and the transparent reporting and strengthening of climate goals. Here's what is aimed to do. So firstly, the aim of the Paris Agreement is to limit global temperature rise by reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and secondly, provide a framework for transparency, accountability, and the achievement of more ambitious targets. The Paris Agreement includes a series of mandatory measures for the monitoring, verifications, and public reporting of progress toward a country's emissions reductions target, and it also enhances the transparency of rules that can apply to common framework for all countries, with accommodations and support provided for nations that currently lack the capacity to enable them to strengthen their system over time. Thirdly, it also mobilizes support for climate change mitigations and adoption in developing nations. So, in conclusion, To avoid major changes to life, as we know, global action must be taken. Hence, the Paris Agreement, which sets the ultimate goal of keeping global warming rise this century to 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius, indeed, seemingly small difference between 1.5 and 2 could have dramatically impact on low-lying nations and coral reef. I think that's all from me. I hope you guys can get a gist from what is the Paris Agreement. Thank you very much.